Oh, welcome. Welcome. Please have a seat. Thank you so much for coming in today. I do appreciate it. I know it's time consuming to come all the way out here, but we really do appreciate it. I did see that you checked yes to completing the form, the short form. Did you bring that with you? Let me see. Okay. Thank you for putting it in a folder. That's very helpful. We do like to try to keep everything together. So most of the time I have to organize it myself, so I really appreciate this. Now let me just check, okay? Okay, you did complete the top two sections. That's good. The third one is office use. You've left that blank. That's excellent. Okay, now when we look at this back section here, now you do understand that there are going to be some additional sections to be completed in the long form. Okay, great. All right, now I see here that you have left section 3B blank. Did you mean to do that? Okay, we will go over that. That is actually something that we're going to have to go into more detail about in the long form. And I'm looking at page 3 here. All right. City of residence, years, present. Okay, that looks good. Let's look at this part now. Okay, oh great. You did give us a lot of information on this back part. That is really good. Thank you for that. All right. There we go. It's email. Employment. We have our dates here. That's good. All right. We will be also adding all of this information into the long form. I know it seems like a duplication of effort, but that's just the procedure. I hope you understand. Thank you for that. All right, and that looks good. Let me just check this back part. All right, very nice. You have very nice handwriting, by the way. It's very, very neat. Very legible. Your printing is exquisite. It's really nice. All right. Everything appears to be mostly good, but that's okay. Don't worry about it, because any sections that were not completed, I would just make sure to add that in. You do have the date on here, which is good, and your description right under there. Okay, that's nice. I'm going to be keeping this nearby, and I have to stamp each section after we go over it with my stamp. Did you bring your checks? Let me see. Okay. Looks good. If you could actually just sign this one on the back, here's a pen. If you would just sign that, just first and last name. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna make sure to keep these with your paperwork so it doesn't get lost. But I do have to give the stamp of approval to each section as we complete it. So if you see me marking or stamping on your forms, that is why. Because once we submit these for review, they are going to confirm that each section has been reviewed manually and approved. So I'm going to be referring to that from time to time as we go. All right, do you have your driver's license with you or another form of photo ID? Okay, I'm going to going to use this to enter your name into the system, and we will pull everything up. Okay, great. Just a moment. Let me make sure I spell it correctly. No, it's okay. I can see it. Okay, and you can take that back. Actually, can I see it one more time? I'm sorry, I wanted just to put in your date of birth. Just want to verify that. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you for that. All right, now we have you pulled up here. All right, can you verify the last 4 digits of your social security number? That's correct. I have to verify that with the stamp. That's gonna be, let me see, if I'm looking at your form, we're on page 1. I'm gonna come down here to this section in the office use section. For that. Excellent. That is the first thing that we verify. Okay. Now, can you give me your full address? Is that an apartment? Okay. 2C in the city? In the state? And your zip code? Excellent, thank you for that. Now, I'm going to move on to the next part. We are going to need from you 2 emergency contacts. Can you give me, we would prefer that at least one of them not be a relative. So if we could have, one person can be, they don't have to be, but we need the names and contact information for 2 people, one of which we would like to not be a relative. Okay, I'm going to enter that into the system. If you would just spell that, the first name and the last name. Is that two G's? All right. And do we have a contact number? If you have 2 numbers, that would actually be better. Okay. 84. Okay, great. Do you have another number, like a work number or a cell? Okay. Now, is this a work number? Excellent. Okay. And the address for this person? Is that an apartment? No. Okay. In the city? The state? And the zip code? Wonderful. And yours? We can do 3 if you want. Sure. I have to add an extra field, but that is no problem. All right, so, but first let's do the second person. Now we will contact these people in order. So we would start with the first person. If we can't reach them, we'll go to the second. So just kind of, I would just put them in the order that you would want us to go in. Okay, can you again spell the first and last name? All right, and we'll go ahead and do the phone numbers for this person. All right, and do you have another number for them? Work number. Do you have a third number? That's okay. 2 is fine. And their address? Apartment 2C in the city, in the state, in the zip code. Thank you for that. And you said you wanted to add a third. Usually people complain that they have to come up with 2. It's not often. I have 3 emergency contacts, but that's wonderful. You can never be too sure. That way, if we are unable to reach the first 2 people, we will go to the third. So that is no problem. I'm going to add in a new field for that section. All right. And if you would again just spell the first and last name. Okay. O-R. All right. And the last name. Excellent. And the primary, like the first phone number. Okay. Do you have another number? A work number? Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. And the address? Was that an apartment? No. Okay. In the city? And the state? And their zip code? Nice. And once again, I'm going to verify that section for you. We have completed the references. And of course, as you should have been told in the initial meeting, all of this information that we are entering today is going to be available for your final review before it is submitted. So you can check my work. You can look for any additional information that might be added. If you need to change anything or update anything, you will have the opportunity to do so before it is submitted for the final review. Now, we do want to make sure that everything is as accurate and up to date as possible before the review. All right, so we have our reference section here, and you have completed part B. I'm going to stamp that one. All right, so we have 2 completed. It's looking good. I do appreciate all of your thorough information. All right, we're now going to move on to prior residency. Prior residences. We will need your residence history going back 10 years. That is correct. And we will need it to be in order from, so we have your current address. Now, can you tell me the date that you moved into the current residence? Because that's going to be the next section. All right. If you want to just use the first day of the month, if you just know the month and year, typically what we recommend, if you don't know the exact date, do you know the month? Okay. What we would have you do is, when you move out of your previous residence, say that's the first day of the month, and then the day that you move into the next residence will be the second day of that month, so that both dates fall in the same month and they are consecutive days. So that, if you don't know the exact date, it's okay. Especially going back 10 years, that can be very difficult to remember, and that's okay. So if you have the month and the year, what we will do is, for the current residence, we will say that you moved in the second day of that month. So the year in the month. So see, I'm just going to say that was June 2nd. Now we're going to go down to the next section, and I am going to need the street address of your previous residence where you lived before your current residence. All right. Now, is that an apartment? Okay. All right. In the city and the state and your zip code. All right. Now, we have to enter 2 dates for this one, because for the current one, you just enter the date that you moved in to present, so we don't need a second date. But for previous residences, for previous places of residence, we will need 2 dates. We need the date that you moved out into the next one, and we need the date that you moved in. But again, if you don't know the exact date of the month, it's okay. We just need the month and the year, and then we will do the 1 and the 2 like I described. Right? So if you will give me first, so we know the date that you moved out, that will be June 1st of 2018. So we know that. We put that. Now for the date that you moved in. Okay. So that would be February 2nd, 2015. All right. So then we're going to do the residence before that. Okay, 72. Can you spell that for me? I think I got it wrong. That doesn't look right. Okay, Y-L-O-R. I was way off. All right, now is that an apartment? No. Okay. The city in the state and the zip code. Nice. We need to keep going back, and I know it's difficult. So the residence before. Oh, you have it written down. See, you're so organized. I like that. This makes it much easier. Okay, you just read it off for me, that's fine. Right, now is that an apartment? Okay. In the city? In the state? In the zip code? Nice. Thank you. All right, so we know the date that you moved in. Yeah. 2nd. All right, or that's the date you moved out. So the date that you moved in. Okay. That looks good. Now we are going to need to go back a little further, because we need a total of 10 years of places of residence. And I know this can be very difficult sometimes if you go through a period where you have to move a lot. I do understand, and I apologize. I know it's kind of hard to go back and remember and keep all the dates straight. So this one, 26. Okay. And was that an apartment? Let's see. Thank you. And the city. And the state. Right. And the zip code. Okay. Now we look at the time here. It does look like that's going to cover a little more than 10 years. So that's going to do for that. I'm going to verify that these dates don't overlap. We don't have any gaps in the years. It looks like, oh, that was my fault. Let me go back. I put a 1 there. That should be a 2. There we go. Took care of that. Just there. All right. I think that's got that part. That is for your residence history. I'm going to look down here. Residence. Going over to the back. Residence. Okay. We've completed that section. Very good. Now for your work history. Yes, we did ask you to submit that form. Unfortunately, there's been a little glitch in the system, and I'm sad to say that that information was not retained. Did you keep a paper copy of what you submitted? Okay, well, since you don't have it, we're going to have to re-enter everything. I'm very sorry about that. It was just a little problem with the system. But we will have to enter your work history. And unfortunately, that goes back 15 years. So, yeah. Are you currently employed at this point? Okay. What was your last date of employment? That was this year. So 2023, March 17th. Oh, St. Patrick's Day. Okay. In the name of your previous employer. Okay. And your employer's address. I am having a little trouble with that street number. Are you sure that's correct? 3612? You said 3612? 3621. Alright, there we go. It verifies the addresses when you put them in. Okay. In the city, that's what I have here. I just wanted to check. Okay. Now, I'm going to need, again, like the residence, I'm going to need the date that you started work with this company. And again, if you can just get the month, if we just put the second day of the month for your previous employer, unless you have gaps. If you do have gaps in your employment, we do have to enter those as separate entries. Now, do you have any gaps more than a day in your employment history? Okay. We're going to put those in as separate entries. We do have to account for every day. So I'm going to put those in as separate. All right. Now, what would be the month that you began work with your latest employer? May. Okay. Now, did you go straight from one job, your previous job, to this job? No. All right, I'm going to put in a gap here. So your gap would be the end of the gap would be that first day. All right. And so what would be the beginning of that gap? Okay. So that's like 3 months. And I need the name of your next to last employer. Okay. And their address. Okay, in the city. That that city is, that's what I thought. It sounded familiar. The zip code. Right, thank you. Now, so your first day with them would have been second. Okay. And the date that you started your employment. Of course, if you do know the exact date, we can put that in. Most people don't. I wouldn't be able to remember. So, okay. January. See? Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. That gives us a nice little chunk of time there. Now, was there a gap between this employer and the one before it? No. So we don't have to put in a gap. All right. So, what is the name of that employer? And the address? Is there like a suite number for that? 200 in the city. Oh, I have family there. Nice. Okay. So we're gonna have the last date there. Okay, and the date that you started that job, the month and the year. Okay. Now, if my math is correct, that will take us back more than 15 years. So that will be the last one we need there. Let me scroll up and see. I have to verify very quickly that there aren't any gaps here. Okay. Everything looks good. Looks good. All right. So that takes care of previous employment. All right. Down here we have the employment. And of course they did mention on the form that the employment history was a separate form, but as I mentioned, because of the glitch it was deleted. So I just wanted to make sure I went over that with you, just because it's important to let you know why we had to redo all that. We do appreciate you taking the time to enter everything, and we do apologize for the inconvenience. Technology is great when it works, though, but when it doesn't, all right, so that's previous employment. Right now, I do have to ask if you are willing to consent to a criminal background check. Okay, that will be submitted by Acme. They will be doing that check for you. Now, in the little window there, I need you to take the little pen thing and just click accept. I'll click OK. Click OK. All right, now that's going to take you to the next screen there, and you just click accept. Just tap the box, okay? And then another screen will pop up where you will sign. So you just take the little pen and you sign in that little rectangle and click OK. Now there's another window. All right, this next one here, just verify your date of birth. Click OK. And the last 4 of your social. Click OK. And then you have to sign one more time. So another window pops up and you just sign again. Alright, and click OK. Thank you for that. That's okay, you can leave. There's a little thing there, you can just stick the pin in that. Yeah, excellent. Now I have to verify that you did that. Background. And today's date. date. And again, this is mentioned on the short form. Let me see, that one jumps to a different section, doesn't it? It does. All right. Background check. That section is complete. Nice. Okay. The next thing we will have to do is verify your employment history. We will have the Acme company contact your previous employers and they will verify your employment. We also need your approval for that. That one is a little shorter. You don't have to click OK as many times. All right, let me pull that up for you. So we have the Acme company. We are going to initiate that today. So I need today's date. Yep. I'm going to put in my authorization. 889. Okay. So again, you're going to have a little window pop up there. And just take the pen and first just read the paragraph there. It's going to tell you what we're doing. We're going to do an employment history check through the third-party Acme company. And just click OK. And the next window pops up. That gives you a little bit more information about the check and what they will be doing. And click OK. And this is also, now this screen is notifying you and telling you that it could take 5 to 7 business days to complete the check. I just click OK. And then the next screen you just sign and click OK. Alright. And that should be, yeah, it says complete. So you just leave the pen there. Employment. You have completed the authorization for that. Today. Same date. I'm going to take your form again. Employment. The employment comes back here. I'm going to just verify that. Excellent. Do you have any questions about the process so far? Okay. If you have any questions at any point, please feel free to stop me, okay? Yes. And we do appreciate your patience. We do understand it is kind of involved. Right. Now, we are going to discuss your education history. Okay? Wonderful. Let's go to that section. Education. This tab. Okay? So, I would need your highest degree obtained. Alright. And the university. I have to do the long name. So, okay. And the dates attended, we would need the date you enrolled and the date of completion, which may not be the same as your graduation date. So if you just, and for this we don't need an exact day, we just need the month and the year that you enrolled. Okay, and the date of completion. Okay, now was your graduation date the same month? It usually is, but sometimes not. Okay. So that was your first. Now the previous degree. Alright. Is that a different school? Alright. And just if you just give me like the long name. Okay. And we see when I put that in, it populates the address, which is very handy. Because most people don't know the mailing address of their college. I couldn't tell you mine either. All right. So the date that you enrolled. And date of completion. Right? Is the graduation date the same month? Okay. There. Right? And go back again. We will need your high school. Okay. And that's as far back as we have to go, but I do need the name of your high school. That's okay. That's all right. Can you spell that for me? Yes. What I thought, I wasn't sure. Now, can you give me the city and state? And the date you enrolled? Oops. 7. Got it. The date that you completed your high school diploma, your high school career. Did you graduate the same month? Okay. Now I just have to go up. Let's scroll up and look at everything. Oh, 1, 2, 3. That looks good. That looks good. We don't have any red flags or any errors. All right. That's got the education history. Education. That's not education. Oh, education. Here we go. Education. You would think by now I'd know where all these spots were on these forms, but they keep changing the forms every couple of years, and I have to learn it all over again. Okay, that takes care of that section. We are definitely making progress. Okay. Now we have one last section to do today. Right. Now this one, of course, you do have the right to maintain your confidentiality, but we do have some questions for you. This is for your life insurance. If you want to opt into it, it will have no impact on any other aspect of your application. We do keep this information private, but it will go toward your life insurance policy should you choose to opt in. If not, it will have no bearing on anything else. Okay. What is your height? Okay. And your weight? Okay. And let's see. Can you give me the ages of are your parents still living? Okay. Can you give me the age that your father passed? Okay. And your mother is still living? Okay. And what is her date of birth? Okay. And again, this is all very confidential. This will have no impact on anything else. Have you suffered any heart attacks, strokes, any other adverse illnesses in the last 5 years? Okay. And what was the date of that, approximately? Just the month and the year will be fine. Okay. Were you hospitalized? Okay. And for how long? I think they would keep somebody in longer for something like that, but these days, who knows? You know, they just kick you out. Okay. Do you smoke? No. Okay. Do you use any recreational drugs? No. Do you drink? Okay. Approximately how many drinks a week on average? 3? Okay. That's all right. Do you engage in any high-risk activities like skydiving, bungee jumping, dating, anything like that? Okay. All right. Do you plan to travel outside of the country at any point in the next 3 years? Okay. We're not saying you can't, we're just asking. They just want to know if you plan to. All right. Very nice. Okay. Have you been hospitalized at any other point in the last 20 years for any reason? Okay. Do you know about what month and year that was? Okay. And car accident? Okay. And do you remember about how long you were there? Okay. Do you have any lasting injuries? No. Okay. Oh yes, the year, the month and the year. Were you hospitalized for that? Okay, I'm not sure what code to use for that. There is no code for that. I'm just going to type in a narrative down here. Got into fight with a badger. I have to ask, who won that fight? The badger. Okay. And you were hospitalized for how long? 3 months. That's impressive. I am just impressed. Okay. But that was 1987. Well, we can't be held accountable for anything in the 80s. We all did some crazy stuff. Alright, I don't think it will affect your life insurance. It could, but going back that far, I think you're safe. Alright. Were there any other previous hospitalizations? Oh, we do need to put that in. So do you remember the month and year of that? Oops. Okay. So tonsillectomy. And you would have been about 9. Yeah. And were you hospitalized? Okay. So it's kind of like an outpatient sort of thing, but it was in the hospital. We'll leave it in there. I don't think it will impact anything. So is that it? Okay. I will come back to the form here that you filled out. Alright, so that will be submitted separately. It will be kept completely separate from the rest of your documents to the life insurance company. And they will be in touch with you separately about that. You will be given the option of enrolling, and they may have some additional questions for you, but we will not be going over that here. That would be something that you would do separately with them. So life insurance. Okay. I am going to ask you one more thing about the life insurance. Let's see. That's got that. All right. So for the life insurance, I do want to ask one more thing. Come down here. Do you wish to enroll at this time? Do you want to express your interest in enrolling? They have several different options. You can do a 20-year term life with $100,000 coverage. There's 100, 250, and 500. Obviously, I can't give you the rates because that will be determined by the life insurance company. But those are the 3 options that they are offering at this point. $250. Now, you're not committed to that. If you decide later you want either the 100 or the 500 or you don't want it at all, you can change your mind. But I will go ahead and put you in for the $250 and that you are interested in that, so they can discuss that further with you when they get in touch with you. Okay, so you are interested. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to take another look at your form. I want to see if we overlooked anything. I do have there's a little box here that you check that you have a P.O. box, but you did not enter a P.O. box number. Do you want to provide that? Okay, let me come back to that. I will just put it in here. I am not allowed to write on or modify your paperwork, so I'm just going to come back to that and I'm going to just put that in. So I'm going to enter that as a separate address for you. So P.O. Box, okay, in the city, state, and the zip code. Okay, so that, of course, whenever they mail you anything, it will go first to your street address, unless you prefer it to go to the P.O. Box. You don't? Okay. Well, then it will go to the street address. And it won't be very frequently that they send you anything by mail, but if they do, it will go to the street address. I just look over everything here. I'm going to check all the sections. We have approved every section we needed to approve. Okay, that looks good. We have everything here. And we have our information here. It looks like we have everything here. Let me look at the back. Okay. All right. I think we have everything ready. You have made this very simple. I do really appreciate your help with this. And I have your checks here. I'm going to place them in the folder. So we have everything together right here. Now I am going to submit this by hand to administration for your application, and everything will be submitted online as well. Once it is submitted online, you will receive an email with a link to review your documents before they are submitted for final review. Let me just confirm your email address. Now, can you go ahead and just tell me? Okay. Yep, that's what I have. Absolutely. So we will email that to you and you can review it. And once you review it, you just click OK at the bottom of each section. If anything needs to be changed, click Edit and you can edit it and then click OK. And once you get through all the pages, you click Confirm once everything is correct. Just make sure you go over everything, make sure everything looks correct. Okay? Well, thank you so much for coming by today, and thank you so much for your wonderful organization. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much again. I hope you have a great day.